Welcome to Navigating the Pandemic with MMG, a webinar series to inform you on what is going on during this time. Due to COVID-19, the entertainment industry has had to quickly but drastically change the way submissions, castings, and bookings are being handled. This video will give a general overview of the shifts we are seeing and how you as a talent can be sure to keep up with those shifts. Over the past several years, the industry has seen an increase in the amount of self-tapes requested for theatrical submissions as opposed to in-person auditions, so many of you should already be familiar with this process. During this unforeseen pandemic, of course, 100% of auditions for TV and film opportunities are now being done as self-tapes. Also, during this production hiatus, numerous casting directors have been requesting general casting self-tapes in order to discover new talent, whereas normally they would focus mainly on filling specific roles. There has been a lot of general casting self-tapes for major casting directors that MMG has been working on, which is an amazing opportunity to be seen and or discovered by their offices. Here are a few tips for those who are interested in these opportunities. As always, it is very important that your marketing materials are up to date. Always be sure your resume is completely filled out across various submission systems. Touch base with your talent manager or representative whenever making any of these resume changes, so that they can give input to make sure the information is formatted correctly. Find an area within your home designated for self-tape auditions. This area should be well lit against a solid background with minimal to no background noise. It is important to remember that any kind of clutter in the background can easily distract from your performance, so it's just important to have a background that isn't distracting. You should always be aware of what you're wearing in conjunction with what you're recording against. You should wear a color that neither blends nor contrasts with the color of your backdrop. You should also wear something form-fitting so that we can see your body frame. It is helpful if quarantined alone to recruit a friend who can read lines with you through Skype or over the phone when necessary. If this is not an option, there are certain apps that will allow you to navigate this. It is always best to memorize the lines to the best of your ability. Of course, you can hold and use the material as a reference, but it does take away from your acting ability when you're reading lines from the script. When our bookers are uploading your self-tapes, there's a size limit of 500 megabytes. So please try to resize your videos to a smaller format before submitting them. Also, sending a downloadable link is always helpful. There are many video sharing apps that you can use, such as Google Drive, Hightail, and WeTransfer, just to name a few. Unfortunately, YouTube links do not work for self-tapes. If you do need to send a large video file, please send it as a downloadable link instead of an attachment. Whenever you self-tape, unless otherwise specified, you should be facing the camera so we can see your face in a head-on frontal view angle, but looking past the camera. You should not be looking directly into the camera when recording. The appropriate term for this is spiking the lens, which casting directors ask not to do. You should look close to the lens or keep your gaze within a limited circle around the camera lens. Most self-tapes require a full-length shot and or close-up for the slate, and a medium aka mid-length shot for the material. It is important that you know the difference between these and find a good placement for your recording device to accommodate these requests. If you're recording any self-tapes from your phone, you should always shoot in landscape or horizontal mode. It helps prevent the video from appearing sideways or too small when viewed by the casting director. You should always avoid shooting in portrait or vertical mode. Use this quarantine as extra time to really hone your craft. Check out virtual acting classes or workshops. Challenge yourself to learn and film new monologues and more. During this pandemic, in-person castings aren't happening for modeling and print opportunities either. Interesting enough, modeling opportunities are being cast through self-tapes as well. During this time, it is important to make sure your measurements are up to date, and it's a great idea to send over a strong set of digitals to your talent manager. If you're not sure what these look like, please contact your talent manager. Self-tapes are being requested for modeling opportunities as well, so it's still important to have a designated area for self-tapes and taking updated digitals. For kids, as always, it is very important that we have current height in inches, current clothing, and shoe size. We also need to be aware of any appearance changes, like braces. Also, many clients are requesting talent to shoot campaigns in their own home, and in some cases are actually sending products, production kits, and more to the talent. It is helpful for your talent managers and bookers to know if you have access to professional shooting gear or are quarantined with a photographer or videographer. We, like you all, are navigating this pandemic as best as we can, and we will be keeping you up to date with our new information. Our next video will discuss how you can be using your social media accounts to secure opportunities that can be completed in the comfort of your own home. If there's anything specific that you would like us to cover, please feel free to tweet us your questions at NYMMG on Twitter, or comment on our post on LinkedIn or Facebook. But most importantly, be sure to hit subscribe under this video so that you are in the know when we release new content on the matter. Thanks for watching, but most importantly, stay safe.